Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Championship Leadership Podcast. We got Jeremy Clark here out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well only because I am not wearing a sweatshirt and you are wearing a sweatshirt, which indicates to me that it's way colder where you
Yeah,
are.
right. And actually, it's kind of is just it's supposed to be like 50 here today, which is like so super unheard of in December in Minnesota. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm actually even going to get outside and get a run in, which like usually by November, could even be end of October, you're kind of done getting outside too much because of the weather. So I'm enjoying it. But yeah,
Well, I don't know if I should let loose then that today in Tulsa it's going to be 71.
yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Also unheard of. But I guess,
Yeah.
keep that in mind for if you want to do an event, next year in December. Tulsa may be the place because where can you find 70-degree weather in the Midwest in
No
December?
kidding, right? Yeah, well, that's a good segue into why we're here to talk. You and Molly came through. Hopefully, we'll get Molly on here as well at some point. But the ULW Unleash the Leader Within experience, the first one we did in Des Moines, that was early November, and it was like 70 in Iowa, which again, it was like, man, this doesn't typically happen in Iowa.
Right.
Usually would probably be closer to 40s, 50s. So we had incredible weather for that experience. But what maybe you could share just like what was the experience like for you and Molly? I know we kind of talked, maybe it wasn't too far out. It was maybe a few weeks out from the experience. You guys reached out and decided to make the trip. So yeah, talk a little bit, tell the listeners like what ULW experience was for you.
Well, so, first and foremost, I will preface this by saying that I know you from a previous coaching experience.
Yep.
And so going into this experience, Molly, my wife, and I both experienced you in a different circumstance with a different sort of training prior. And so we went into this going, we refer to that Nate as Nasty Nate. And I know people are that have associated with some of the experiences automatically are going to go, yep, got it.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure kind of if this was going to be, one of those or if
expect,
something different. And luckily or unluckily, depending on if you needed to be woke up or
right.
This was not a wake up event, which was very awesome because it did push, right? I mean, there was obviously, that first day with the physical evolutions, it did push us out of our comfort zone, which was very, very cool. But what I really loved about it was, everybody is successful in their own right with their own businesses or kind of what they're doing. And this is in this whole journey, this whole ULW experience in person, to me is a refinement of who you are as a leader or as, whether it's in business or personal life. To me, it was just a refinement of things that and just for you to be able to have some perspective and to point out some of our blind spots for us to then leave that event and move forward with that refinement under our belts.
Yeah. So the prior experience you guys talked about was more of it's more to wake people up and it was a more intense version of Coach Nate, like you said, and it was designed to be that way. And this event is different. This is primarily business owners and entrepreneurs. We had a few high level execs and corporate execs, which this is definitely an event that would fit for that too, that want to become greater leaders.
Oh, most definitely.
I
could totally see people. I could totally see you getting into an environment where you're doing like corporate sort of things like this. This to me is like a real, just a real in with like corporate events or, something that, again, it's physical in nature to a certain point, but it's not one of those where you go, I just need to find a truck and run out in front of it. Cause this is just
right. Yeah. So it was 3 days and we did physical for probably really the first half. We did a small little workout every day just because it's important to take care of your body. But the first day inside of the physical to really teach and talk about leadership too. And to push you guys out of your comfort zones a little bit on that first day, and then a lot of powerful connection and conversations and learning from others, not just myself. Right, we had some other powerful speakers.
Oh yeah,
talk a little bit about that too and what that was like.
Man, blown away, right? I think, one of the things that I said and I will continue to say outside of the experiences, the connections that are made, not only with the participants that are in the experience with you, but also the ones that are there to teach and to give you some insight on some of the things that they're doing or some of the things that they've learned. I mean, Mike and Zach, those two guys are freaking A+ phenomenal dudes, man.
Yeah, Mike Young and Zach Babcock. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So I enjoyed Mike so much. I told him at lunch on that second or third, I don't remember which day it was, that I had a man crush on him. Just that dude talking. I could listen to him talk like for 24 hours a day, man. He has got his perspective.
Full of knowledge, man.
Yeah, he and Zach, his story and where he's come from and where he's going.
It's
Phenomenal. And side note, he put out that post the other day about he's doing a podcast thing for like a week, and he only had 20 spots, and I was one that got one of the 20 spots, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
So anyway,
podcast tour.
Yeah, he's doing that's right. Podcast. Yeah, he's doing a podcast tour. So I was able to land him for an hour anyway. So but yeah, just and so I think what a lot of people tend to lose sight of when they make decisions on these things is it's like, well, what am I going to get out of it? And at face value, there's obviously like, there's got to be some definition or defining of what am I going to get out of this if I do this? But I will tell you that there will be things that are unseen or that you can't comprehend that are going to be good for you if you decide to do this going forward, if it's something you've been thinking about doing. Just not only the connections within the people within the experience, but the awesome people that you're going to bring in to teach and speak as well. Just the benefit of having that knowledge. So you go there refining what you know and what you think, but in that you're attaching individuals that are doing some phenomenal big great things that I had no idea who Mike Young was. I had a little smidgen of who Zach was, but on the back end of this event, it's like, man, I can't absorb enough of what they're doing, because perspective is everything. Seeing and knowing what they're able to accomplish just makes it more apparent that the path that we're on and where we want to go, number one, is possible, but number two is definitely achievable. You just have to have it between your ears, and just keep those connections and keep those experiences fresh and moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And so that's really what I wanted to create. There's a lot of events out there, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of them, they under deliver. Yes, it's always up to it's always up to me to get what I need to get out of it.
Right.
But it sure is nice when they bring the heat and when they deliver. They being whoever it is that's putting this event on. And so, it's really important to me that I, as much as I possibly can, just create a very, very, very quality and unique event, and one that will over deliver. And I know that just through the connections that I've had and that I've made because of the investments I've made personally myself in my own life, to get me to where I'm able to bring those in and share those with the people that come through my events and my experiences. So I'm excited about the next one we got coming up in February, the second one in Nashville. And we're bringing Mike back in. I don't know if we'll have Zach in this time, not because he wasn't awesome, because he was awesome, but just because I have so many other people I want to bring in, and we're gonna have a little bit more focus on the money side of things this time with two different speakers, Paul Helm and Michael Lush. So so I'm excited about that. So we'll keep, the goal is to continue to learn from the past and continue to level it up a little bit and make it just a more powerful experience. So
yeah, and I, one of the things, I don't know if it'll be next year or not, but Molly and I have talked about, we'd love to have you come down to Tulsa and do something. It's like legitimately, like, if you look at a dartboard in the bullseye, Tulsa's damn near right there when it comes to the United States.
It is, yeah, it's right in the middle.
Right dab in the center. And we've got a cool hotel and convention center that's kind of it's a private kind of thing, like literally 2 miles down the road. And so I have this vision of like wanting to bring you down, right? Because really where I come from this is Molly and I hope that at some point in the future we're asked to do something at one of these, not participate, but like come in. And
Yeah,
so,
right.
if right, all this is experience, knowing people, helping people out and assisting and so on and so forth. So we feel like that us attending this and seeing what it's done, we want to bring that to Tulsa and get some movement and excitement around that. And have you come here and spend 3 days with awesome people that may have not ever heard of you and are
Yeah.
able to experience it and just grow what you're doing. So
That would be incredible. I'd love to do that. So yeah, let's get to just put it on the calendar and start making it happen. But yeah, I would love to. That'd be amazing. What as we start to kind of wrap this up, if you what you probably do, or like for anyone that's kind of been, this always happens, right? CL24, my 24-hour experience. People saw that I was putting this out, the first one, and they're like, all right, what is this? Let's see if this lasts, if this goes, if this works. Then I do class 2, and then I do class 3, getting ready to do class 4. And people are like, okay, this actually is legit. This is a pretty powerful experience. Like, this is a thing. This is going to continue to grow and to happen. So now people are kind of, that have been watching, which is natural. You just kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure. And then you start to gather some information, and some of those people start to come through down the road. If there's somebody that kind of saw this first experience, or that that's really does want to take that next level as a business owner, entrepreneur, high level exec, wants to become a better leader, wants to just take that next step in life, what would you say to them to get them off that ledge, right? They just need that one little thing to help them to make that decision to move. What would that be?
well, I'm gonna steal Mike Young, who was one of the speakers at your CL24. I'm gonna
Yep.
steal one of his quotes, or maybe it's a requote. You're only 2 people away from 1,000,000, right?
Yeah.
So, and what he meant by that was, going out and putting yourself in these scenarios that yet are uncomfortable on one hand, but on the backside of that, create just a different sort of capacity for that individual. You don't know, number one, who you're going to meet at these events.
Right.
You really don't know what you're going to learn about yourself, or about how you've been thinking, or the way that you lead, or whatever the case may be. You can't visually understand that or mentally understand that until you actually go to one of these events.
Yeah.
For me, I've come on this growth mindset thing of perspective is everything, right? So if I continue to remain on my own path and not have influx of other people, then I'm just like this, right? They just got blinders on. So these evolutions for me are to be surrounded by people that are really wanting to move the needle in their lives and make a difference. And if you are on the fence going, I don't know if I want to do that, then you're on the fence about how much difference you want to make in your life and how much you want to move forward.
Yeah.
And we have a saying in our house that we say, do and done. And so what we try to do is, when we know there's something that we need to do, we just need to do it and be done with it. Because once we start thinking about it and start telling ourselves stories around, well, if I don't do it, or if I, then there's all this time wasted and everything else. So I would make the same thing, right? If Coach Nate has grabbed your attention by some of the things that he's doing, and you're on the fence, then do and done, man. You won't regret it. It'll definitely be money well spent. And on the back end of it, you'll learn things about yourself. You'll learn things about other people. You'll meet other people that you can't even begin to picture or imagine from sitting, analyzing it pre-attending the event.
Yeah. I love that. There's a few things I love about that. Number one, like you're never really going to regret if you like the do and done. If you just do it and get it done with, and then it's not there hanging over you. And if it doesn't work out, or if it doesn't turn out how you thought, then now also. You just know.
Right.
Now you don't have to do that anymore, and you can just lay that to bed. So I love that. That's powerful. Appreciate that. What are a few ways, because you and your wife Molly, you have a podcast, and you have some apparel, and you got some other things going on with the Powerful Mindset. So let us know how we can follow you and everything you guys are up to.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jeremy Clark is my Instagram and Facebook, normal stuff. But, our podcast is Dynamic Power Podcast. It's on all the big, podcast platforms. It's more about mindset and just our journey, right, over the last couple years of being kind of people that pretty much for lack of a better term, just gave up. We thought that our corporate jobs, which if you have that, there's nothing wrong with that, but we thought that was it. I could retire from my corporate job, but there was just an emptiness inside. So our podcast kind of talks about that. And then our apparel, Powerful Mindset Apparel, which I provided the links to our Facebook and Instagram to you, Nate. So hopefully they'll be in the show notes of this episode.
Absolutely.
But powerfulmindsetapparel.com. And the basis for that is that we all have the power inside of us to create the life that we want. But it starts what's up here between our ears to get that in line to really start moving mountains when it comes to creating the life that you want. So it's been quite the journey, and we've just really only gotten started.
I haven't been on the podcast yet, right?
No, you haven't. But look,
I know we've been talking about it. I've been hearing you talk about it, but we got to make it happen.
I'm working on a list. I'm working on a list. This is Jeremy's notes, but this is a Post-it note, and the first name on there is Nate. Right. So I am on the back end of this. I will be getting in touch with you. So yes, you will be on the podcast.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking some time, and thank you guys so much for the support and coming to the event, and hope that you're able to take that and apply it and help you guys to where you're going, because I know you guys have big visions just like me, and you're gonna make it happen. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you taking the time to have us on, talk a little bit about our experience and what we've gained out of it, and also, the ability to plug some of the stuff that we're working on. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. You bet, man. Have a good day.
You too.